It's connecting. What we got? Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, it's gonna be the real one.
I don't think we weren't even live on now I just got a notification that you re came back on.
There we go. Let's see what the stream's looking like here now. There we go. I can hear myself there. Or that's you hearing me.
Oh.
This is the weirdest thing. All right, so we're back on. There it is. It's showing, but I think it's a different link. 626. Let me just see here. That'd be cool if it actually kept everything going. How about YouTube? Did they kick down? There it is. It's showing. See what happened over there, dude. If we got two streams going, but we do have your decode up on the screen here. Hold the line. Yeah, we're still going. 36. Let me just see here. How long have we been going over here? Did this interrupt? Started 64 seconds ago. All right, so it looks like number 2 started over here again. That's why Wheezy was like, wait, you didn't put a show link out there. There we go. All right. Well, everybody's back live with us now, Mac, and no.
Is there a new link?
Yeah, there's gonna be a new link. I'll post it out as we kind of talk and as we go here. I'll drop it for you here. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And I even put this link is good on the show thing here. So let me get it over to you. There we go. So I think it's going to be definitely a different one, and this will butcher this views, and it's too bad too because there's such good information coming out today. Such good information coming out. But all right, here we go.
So need to go back over anything?
Yeah, no, I mean, basically, so if anybody's, catching in, we started in here really quickly with those 51 former intelligence officials. Basically was a bunch of BS, and even the people that are in the Director of National Intelligence office did not like what they saw whatsoever, and they were writing information. So we had this, and we also got information, it was last week too, Mac, that essentially it was another person that brought up big concerns about their raid of Mar-a-Lago. So that was last week. This week they're talking about the 51 letters, and so it's looking like a lot of these the cracks in their armor are starting to show, and I'm definitely loving this for right now. Absolutely loving it. So we showed that, we showed a couple of posts by President Trump here, the White House, and how this one maybe kind of goes back into 1709 post, essentially, which would be something big is about to drop. And oh-ish, Q is right. Now here comes the pain. And then Mac had something that maybe kind of went into this as well because it linked to this as well. Boom, week ahead. Treason doesn't pay well in the end. Every journey has an end, and President Trump talking about end and chirping, and he also brought up a concise summary of how chirping and related concepts like chatter can be used negatively against a president. So anything else you want to add on this particular thing as we're kind of giving them a quick refresh here, Mac?
Yeah, just keep an eye out. This is a possible it is possibly what Tulsi's going to declass because of that graphic we also showed, if you wanted to bring that back up. But she's got about 30 days to declass, and she's got 2020 election. I think COVID would be one of them, and then there was a couple other things that were on that graphic. Now, the graphic was more legalese speak, so it could carry over into multiple categories. So just wondering where she's going to take it all.
And again, I think she's gonna go out in a blaze of glory, and here's why. Because have you seen like Catherine Herridge when she's posting, and she posts like in all caps legacy, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard is doing this, and I'm like, all right, so she's doing something that's going to leave a legacy on the way out, because if she left and just resigned now, it's like, yeah, she did a good job, but nothing great for your legacy. But if you follow through on this, that would definitely be something really good for your legacy. And What she could expose: censorship coordination, intelligence abuse, regime change operations, foreign influence operations, media collusion, surveillance programs, classification abuses, interagency communications. Yeah, you like the classification abuse where they make things classified that shouldn't be, and that's
Or
actually
misspell people's names.
oh, like James B. Corney, not James 8 Corney, not James B. Comey. So yeah, very, very interesting. And they would also, there was Executive Order 13628 or something along those lines. Whatever it is, the numbers add to 17. And then in section 1.7, it talks about how you can't like hide things that are classified, to hide like fraud and crime and abuse and stuff. And interestingly, or most interestingly to me, that executive order was written by Barack Hussein Obama, of all people. So I thought that was very interesting, dude.
Because they thought they were going to win.
Yep, they never thought she would lose. Never thought she would lose. But
And then you got the other executive orders. There was what was it, surveillance programs that were on there? That to me is like the FISA. So I look at these and kind of look at what category they fall into. So if there's a surveillance program that was done illegally, I think about the FISA and how they did it with Trump and, the Russia Gate, all that stuff. This one's crazy too.
They were absolutely done illegally, big time. And so I was going to start looking up, like post 121, 1215, but U.S. CENTCOM or Central Command. Thousands of U.S. service members at sea, in the skies, and from land are supporting the ongoing U.S. blockade against Iran. As of June 1st, CENTCOM forces have redirected 121 commercial vessels and disabled 5 to ensure compliance. Now, Mac, I don't know if you had an additional link on this one. Either I brought the picture over or I saved it into my saved on telly.
No, I didn't do a graphic or anything. Like I said,
Okay.
I would have been doing things all day long, trying to at least. But if you bring up the graphic, did you get that? What it all meant?
Which one was it? It wasn't this one, right?
If you take the numbers,
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me see. Was it 1215?
it's 1 and 121. There, I'll get the post here for you, buddy.
I put a bunch of pictures aside for the show, and then I saved other ones into Telegram as well for you.
Right there at the bottom. So I'm looking at it and like, there's no Q post that goes this high. So there are 3 separate sets. 1 is A in the alphabet, 5's E. But 121, I was like, wait a second, that could correspond to some like computer coding. So it does. Represents the letter Y. In the ASC2 encoding standard, it's a lowercase y. So when you put those together, it spells I, like aye, Captain. And looking into the I meaning, it's yes, obviously, but it's implying more than just yes. It's not passive agreement. They hear what they're saying, they understand it, and they're compliant to what is being said. So, and you noticed in that video, there's green in the helicopter, especially the rotor blades on the one side was green. The other one was just a little red.
Shit, yeah.
It felt like to me that there is some go comms going on.
That's crazy, dude. Because I got something to go with that too. Wow.
Yeah, I, yes. And this isn't the only one. There's been some others that, with the timestamps of Scavino and Trump, I think one of them was 1 minute apart. And, there's a lot of suggestions of operations ago. For whatever reason, I don't know. But that's what's great about this. We wait and find out.
Yeah, Iran really. Oh my goodness, dude, this is crazy that you brought that up too. Let me pull this one up here because I'm like, wait, maybe it's something, maybe there's nothing to it, and I wasn't sure. But now that you brought this up, and you mentioned green as well, and a go code. So let me also pose you another scenario. They're coming back here and essentially saying I or I, right? And did we get essentially, an order from President Trump, like, okay, it's time to go. And then they are basically saying, like, okay, aye, aye, Captain, like, we're ready to rock and roll here. So kind of with that in mind, let me pull you this one up, dude. I think you might find this a little tasting. Let me see, where did I do it? Okay, so this is where I got it from anyway. And I'll see if I can do this in somewhat of a semblance of an order. Let me see. So this one went to, that's 102. Okay, we're going to do that one. And then we're going to do this one here. So again, I don't know if this is all something or not, but we're going to do it. F it, we're going to do it live. President Trump, 6/1/26, 1:02 a.m. Iran really wants to make a deal, and it will be a good one for the USA and those that are with us. But don't the Democrats and various seemingly unpatriotic Republicans understand that it is much tougher for me to properly do my job and negotiate when political hacks keep negatively chirping at levels never seen before, over and over again, that I should move faster or move slower or go to war, not go to war, or whatever. Just sit back and relax. It will all work out in the end. It always does. Just like he said in that White House post that we saw earlier, right? So very interesting. This is, let me see, so you guys can see it here, 1:02 a.m. post. So we go with 1:02, ding, and look at, we got coordinates, we got confirmation, looks like Godspeed, and we got green in there, right? Well, at the same time, I went, well, let me go look at today's deltas, because this was, I don't know, somewhere around 1 or 2 in the morning when I was doing this. Let me check out the deltas for today. And the very top first delta that comes up is Roger, ball has been called, good, and what? Green. So this one's got green. This one's got green. This one's got some green in it. Like, you know, so I don't know, dude. Maybe there's something.
I think Scavino posted at 1:03 too a.m.
Right after. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's where the other post was, where it said "Journey to the End" or whatever. Now that saying was originally not kind of, it's developed over the year. That saying, the original person was Seneca the Young, I think his name is. And there's a little history behind that. But every journey has an end. It's in quotation. So I've been trying to figure out, what the reference was. So Seneca the Young, though no direct Latin equivalent appears in his surviving texts. Like, I'm not going to try to read that. It's Latin. But it's Seneca frequently wrote that life itself is a journey with a definite conclusion. In letter 30, he states, "For life is granted to us with the reservation that we shall die. To this end our path leads." So that's the original reference to that. Now, his life story is interesting. He was exiled for a little bit, and then like age 59, I think, he came back and he was direct advisor to Nero.
Oh, damn.
Then he was killed, or he forced suicide is how they put it, because they said that and it was never proven that he was trying to get Nero killed. So he might have been stabbed in the back like many politicians or advisors in the past, because he probably viewed him as a threat of some sort. But it's very interesting. If anybody else has any other ideas where this quote came from, let me know. That'd be great. And also Journey the song,
Don't stop
believing.
Oh, well, and I found that post. And what was it? I think it was an hour apart.
No, his was 2:03 a.m. Excuse me.
Interesting.
It wasn't one.
Yeah, but interesting. 1:02, and then an hour later, 2:03. 1, 2.
So if you do the delta on that, it's 101. You just get rid of the zeros. It goes 11, 12, and then what was it 11, 13, 12, and then 11, and then you got 23. I don't know. I always try to get rid of the zeros sometimes and see if there's any correlations, because zeros really don't mean much.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a placeholder, essentially, or not even. But, dude, I think we're going to finally get into the part here. Trust income, SecCam. All right, something's about to drop. All right, this one you dropped, and I put this out, and I put this post out with a link to your Telegram as well. You guys can follow Mac here. I'll put this link in the chat so you guys can follow along and follow Mac's Telegram link that's down here as well. Let's listen to a little bit of Todd Blanche and Maria.
Russia hoax, there was absolutely nothing to it. And so the question that the American people have to ask is, well, then why did they do it? Why did Comey say what he said? Why did the outgoing Obama administration do what they did? And that's what we're studying right now, because it did great damage to this country. It did great damage to President Trump's first term. And we want to understand why that happened, why there continued to be an effort by operatives in the government to go after President Trump while he was in office, and then, of course, over the past several years as well. Russia hoax.
I love it, dude. I mean, they're not letting any of this stuff go, Mac.
Yeah, and they're really exposing this cabal. It's great. The shadow government, essentially. I don't know, or the cult, the owl cult, the Y cult. I don't know. But there is a faction, a very large faction of people that are against, no matter if they're Republican, Democrat, or in between, against President Trump and what he's doing. And you wonder why. Probably because they're all in on it. And that's how corrupt, these thieves have taken it. It's when you're the best thief or the biggest thief in the world, what do? You steal from the largest pool of money. And what's that? American taxpayer dollar.
Yeah. And we got some stuff coming up on that a little bit later too. And yeah, it's the amount of money, in fraud that is being kicked around is just, I never thought it could be that bad, dude. It is just crazy. Let's see. Well, we had this post from CENTCOM, and then we have a very interesting and funny post. So this was, I think, a few days ago. No, this was yesterday. And see, just kind of like Mac, you're talking about, like, I don't even know what days, whatever. But U.S. CENTCOM says, U.S. defense disables threats in response to Iranian aggression. U.S. CENTCOM conducted self-defense strikes on Iranian radar and command and control sites for drones in Goruk, Iran, and Keshem Island this weekend. The measured and deliberate strikes occurred on Saturday and Sunday in response to the aggressive Iranian actions that included the shootdown of a U.S. MQ-1 drone that was operating over international waters. U.S. fighter aircraft swiftly responded by eliminating Iranian air defenses, a ground control station, and two one-way attack drones that posed clear threats to ships transiting regional waters. No American service members were harmed. CENTCOM will continue to protect U.S. assets and interest in response to unwarranted Iranian aggression during the ongoing ceasefire. So they're just talking about, the drone that went down, and they were like, oh my God, we took something down. It's like, yeah, a drone. Good job. Well played. And Mac, so everybody kind of I think it's this one here, to President Trump's point, oh, you need to go in there and just level them, or you need to get out of there and just stop it. Like everybody, a-holes are like opinions. Everybody's got one, right? But in my opinion, it's what's the rush right now, right? And like, oh, well, gas prices, whatever, right? It's not dictated by this stuff. Like the gas prices, it's a whole nother BS stacked up system. But from what I understand, from 2 weeks ago, they were already overflowing in Karg Island, and it's pretty much a waiting game at this point, as far as I can see it, dude. And I don't know if you want to add any comment to that one, but you know what? Let me set you up nice here, because we're getting our United States is getting their ass kicked so bad that apparently is a reported resignation letter from the new Iranian president. He wants to resign, bro. Washington insider Armstrong Williams discussed the latest developments in conflict with Iran, and essentially this guy wrote a letter and said, like, yeah, I want to resign as being the president of Iran, allegedly, and it's being reported in a few different places as well. So,
I mean, that's a mess there, and it's literally the military trying to run the show, so it's exposing them. I put a video by Scott Besson in the chat. It's very interesting because these guys are very cunning. This is negotiation for Trump. You read the Art of the Deal, Art of War, and Trump's dealing with a very hostile negotiator right now, all the way at the bottom.
Oh, you got it at the bottom. Okay, let me see. Ding, ding. Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'll let him explain, then we can talk about it.
Oh yeah, this is hilarious, dude. Too,
really.
Be careful what you wish for. And what did I say last week about being good friends with your neighbors?
the economic side in terms of what we've done. And a big mistake that the Iranians made was attacking their GCC neighbors, their neighbors in the Gulf, because we had many very good allies who maybe weren't completely transparent with us on the money, Iranian money that was in their banking systems, all of a sudden became very compliant in terms of being willing to turn over accounts or help us freeze, block accounts. And then the third part was the incredible blockade. I really think it's the economic blockade of funds and the physical blockade of the ships not going in or out of the Iranian ports. Karga Island is shut down. That's their big oil loading facilities, and that means that they're going to have to start taking down the wells soon.
Now, a lot of people have asked me recently.
Gonna have to start taking down the wells soon, Mac, just like we were talking about. Overflowing.
Yeah, and it's they're shooting themselves in the foot. They're really trying to, upend what President Trump's trying to do and bring world peace and get rid of these money laundering countries and systems that have been going on, these middlemen that essentially have been holding, say, the Strait of Hormuz hostage. You got Lloyds of London, and the British Empire has had a stranglehold in a lot of these trade routes, as we've been covering, and other people have. And Iran is a big arm of that system, but they also like to do a lot of illegal trafficking. So what they were able to do was also find their crypto, which is great, and seize the crypto. Everyone thought that you can't seize the crypto. Well, you can, and that's been a big tool of
Huge.
theirs. Yeah.
Dude, can you imagine how much, and I don't know what, level people want to give of credibility to this, but where was the money here? Where was the money? Where was the money? I had this more towards the stuff at the end, but since you brought this up, again, I don't know what type of, credibility anybody gives this account here, U.S. debt clock. But it says exponential restitution, the Fed banking cartel, 1200X. And if we go over to this corner here, it says total cartel asset forfeiture liability. That's $1 million, hundreds of millions, billions, trillions. So 23 trillion, this says, right? And so if anybody's ever gone here, Mac, I don't know if you ever, went into this and looked at like the PDF that they made. Whoever made that PDF did a really good job of doing it and preparing it. And I know anybody can, do that nowadays, but it depends on what level of credibility people give to this site. And again, I don't know exactly who runs it. You got thoughts
It's
on this
ran by. Can you hear me?
Yep. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, it's privately owned. I've looked into it in the past. The physical billboard near Nijmegen is maintained by the Durst organization. The website is often confused with the physical national debt clock, which is not owned by them. I'm not sure. The site's mobile apps are developed by Chrono Numeric Labs. There used to be a single person, but what they do is they access the public data and then they organize it. So yeah, whoever organizes it, it's interesting. But the data being fed to them, there must be new categories that they're able to give where they can find new metrics.
Yeah.
That's as far as I've taken it. I used to have the owner's name, I thought, through digging on the internet. It was a family of some sort, but there wasn't anything nefarious that I found.
Interesting. Well, yeah, that kind of lines up. Well, this number lines up with another one of my buddies that has been doing a lot of research, and he's using AI, but he's also going back and verifying because he understands that it does make a lot of mistakes. So when he's finding the information, he's going back and sussing it out and searching for it himself. And that's what he had said. This was the guy on the couch, or that he goes by the debriefing now. He was saying 2 weeks ago, he was like,
found it.
Yeah, the total the total asset liability, or the forfeitures, were over $20 trillion. So that's what he said a couple of weeks ago. So that's crazy, dude.
This is what I found in the past. You can click the link. The owner of the US debtclock.org.
See what we got here. Cause money cause before symptom Podbean. Okay. The owner of usdebtclock.org, your host with James Carner. Law office of John G. Warner is located in Corte Madera. So is this the guy that's the law office of this guy?
I think so.
Debt clock goes back to when Obama became president. I couldn't find anything on the owners of who is history, but the app maker Chrono Numeric Labs, the maker of the U.S. Debt Clock, is Chrono Numeric Labs is in Flint, Michigan. There are hundreds and hundreds of businesses registered to this address, especially in Suite. Oh, dude, 113, 11.3. That's interesting.
The agent's name to create the company is United States Corporate Agents Inc. And under the filing name is Thomas Wilk. It's the Wilk family. Same company created real-time celebrity net worth app, celebritynetworth.com, which is hosted on the exact same server as usdebtclock.org. Yeah, so it's Thomas Wilk, I guess. I think that's the guy that came up with. But there might be some other entities. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to see if anybody's in the chat is saying anything. 100, what was it? 1,000 trillion is a quadrillion. Is that what's next after trillion? But dude, I've been saying this for years, right? And let's go back to it here really quick. I've been saying this for years. Like, can you imagine if they're doing this? And what's the executive order, Mac? I know you know them like the back of your hands, like 13818, the serious human rights abuse.
13818 and 13838.
Yeah, sir, it's huge. Like, dude, like, can you imagine if they were able to do what they said they were going to do? And I think that they are, is, hey, you're a criminal. You have X amount of $1 million or $1 billion. We take it from you, right? And so what my buddy Hulkinator told me after I had mentioned to him that of the other guy's video about the 20 trillion of it was worth of like Bitcoin, I believe it was too. It was some crazy amount, but he also brought to my attention the fact that Joe Biden sold a bunch of it on his way out the door, essentially. So again, if Biden did anything with it, I don't know that it was really Biden doing anything with anything, or what were they really doing with that, with that Bitcoin. So we'll have to see how things play out, because I'm still not thoroughly convinced of that middle Biden administration. I don't know who was running the show right there, dude. And I don't think it was Pocahontas.
I explained it, man. It's a president of two precedents.
Yes.
We basically had like a civil war. So the shadow president on the Biden side was Obama, and then we had the other side, which is, pick a side, the union would be Trump, aka like Abraham Lincoln. And back in the day, Abraham Lincoln had to hand over the government to the military to preserve the country, because states wanted to secede and so forth. So he probably used that along with the stuff of the Law of War Manual and what else? Just he was able to just Directive 51. It was just continuity of government. And I'm probably missing a couple other things. I got to look up the post I make.
I mean, you and Lisa were into this stuff for a very long time, and you won't say it, but I'll say it. You guys were into this whole devolution stuff like way earlier than a lot of people were.
Yeah, the devolution is just like a stage of it. There's a lot more, right? Yeah, there's a lot more components that were put into place, even previously, that President Trump's been able to use and go to and build upon with like executive orders and writing, passing new laws. Mm-hmm. But it's very subtle and scattered. There is no it didn't seem like there was a sequential order. It just kind of scattered them around, and then we had to go find them.
They don't make it easy.
Through the Q posts and stuff like that. But
you guys did good work on that stuff, though. But again, to your point, you go down that road of what do they call it? Succession of government, and then there's many avenues within there. So it's not just like, oh, this is the only thing you can do once you go down the road. There's many different branches and avenues and ways to do things. And you're right, they don't make it easy for you to look this stuff up at all.
Yeah, and I think I always talk about the PEDS Act was really what kind of opened my eyes as a pathway to kind of control the chaos as a president. And so when the PEDS Act, you find out how the history behind that with Eisenhower and It was in case of a nuclear war, and it's been built upon ever since. Biological weapons do come into that. Alien attack comes into this. Like there's many oil crisis. He can use a PEDS Act, the PEDS, a presidential emergency action. So you kind of wonder, how much of this is going on behind the scenes. 'Cause I don't think President Trump would have just let the country collapse, because he's all about the preservation of the country, as we've seen. Why hasn't he prosecuted Hillary Clinton? He said out of respect to Bill Clinton with the presidency. Obviously, we've got the grand conspiracy thing coming down and that will have, through the proper law and order, the proper process, then we'll be able to bring them to justice. But he could have done it himself, given what he known, and I think he chose the better path, which is get them all. And we're working towards that.
And I pulled up, I ended up uploading, same thing as I did with the last one, the video that you put of Iran and what it looked like before the IRGC went in. So I got that video to pull up, and
eye-opening.
It's crazy. And, like I said, I reposted it here, and same thing, I put the link for your thing in here. Where was it? Here we go. I put the link, so I'll give you guys the link for this. You guys can follow Max Free the Will Telegram link here, but I'm not going to play it just for the sound of it, guys. Excuse me, I'm not going to play the audio, just for the sounds and whatever. Actually, is there music in this? Let's see. But here we go. Yeah, we don't need the loud music, but look at. I likened it to like the 60s or the 70s here, right? Doesn't it seem like that? And then I think I put in the post, I was like, it reminded me very much of the 60s and 70s here, aka the same, right? Like it was. Like nobody was sitting there telling you must wear this and you must put this on and cover everything up so we can't see, we can't see anything. Look at short skirts right there, Oh my God.
But yet it's okay for England to have a king. Iran couldn't have a king. But yeah, there was a definite shenanigans going on all before I was born, but it was in 1979 when they all got captured. Was it at a hotel or embassy? I can't remember.
Somebody sent me an email on that the other day. Or actually, that may have been on a post.
There's a lot to look into on that, and that's how communism came into Iran, through Islam.
Yep, through the IRGC.
Yeah, and there's lots of information behind that and what it transpired. Even in the United States, was it?
Our fault.
Carter was in power, but was at his end of his tenure, and Ronald Reagan was running. And in the background, who was vice president for Reagan? Was it George H.W. Bush?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you follow that, H.W. Bush had a huge hand in selling Iran arms after holding these hostages after the election so that they could make it right, and so forth. So it just, and you look into, obviously, the Bush family we've talked about and their history, and what has George H.W. Bush been a part of? Well, he goes all the way back to JFK assassination, and
Sure
everything
does.
in between. And then you got George W. Bush, who is the passing of the baton, and then the relation of Obama to the Bush family. And then we've talked about Prescott Bush and the company Brown Brothers and Harriman, and how they were major contributors to the Nazi Party and Hitler during World War II. So we're seeing a lineage of connections to world corruption of global proportions.
Absolutely. And dude, we kind of kicked it off because we went in there in 1952, 53. So I don't want to play this because I know 100% it gives you a strike if you do play it. But basically what he talks about here, he talks about how, well, what do we do? Well, we went over here.
You know what? I don't think I've ever seen this. I've got to look at it. I've got to watch it. Yeah, I've got to watch it. I keep forgetting to actually. Isn't there a book too?
Yeah, I believe it's written. I believe it's based on a book or whatever. It's this guy's story.
Yeah.
But the dude was, telling everything that was going on. I'll read a little bit of it here, just because it's crazy. What they do, and so We, Economic Hitman, really have been the ones responsible for creating the first truly global empire, and we work many different ways, but perhaps the most common is that we identify a country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil. Oh, wink, wink, Iran, lots of oil. And then they arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sister organizations, but the money never actually goes to the country, and instead it goes to our big corporations to build infrastructure projects in that country. Power plants, industrial parks, ports, things that benefit few rich people in that country in addition to our corporations, but don't really help the majority of all people. However, the people that the whole country is left holding a huge debt is such a big debt that they cannot pay, and that's part of the plan, that they cannot repay it. And so at some point, we economic hitmen go back to them and say, listen, you lost a lot of money, can't pay your debts. So sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies. Allow us to build a military base in your country, or send troops in support of ours to some place in the world like Iraq, or vote with us on the next UN vote. To have their electric utility company privatized and their water and sewage system privatized and sold to us corporations or other multinational corporations, so that there was this whole mushroom thing. And it's so typical of the way the IMF and the World Bank work, that you put a country in debt. It's such a big debt, you can't pay it. In order to refinance that debt, it's more interest, and you demand this quid pro quo, which you call conditionality or good governance, which means basically they've got to sell off their resources, including many of their social services, utility companies, and their school systems. So you guys get the idea. Very, very good, very, very well done documentary. And he talks about, the various countries and how they went into it. And he talked about here how they went into Iran in 1953 with Kermit Rockefeller or Roosevelt. I forget which one it was. I want to say Kermit Rockefeller. I forget who it was, but with like $1 million or $2 million, and did essentially the color revolution. They brought in some money, got some people riled up, and then they ended up getting the guy who was running the place, Mossadegh, I believe, gone in like short order. So right here. So this is what happens when you bring $1 million in there. Yeah, Kermit Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt's relative, went in there and did all this stuff like a color revolution. So yeah, this stuff happens, and it's been happening for a very, very long time. Dude, this one, all right, I guess this is just a little bit of a funny.
This CIA is just, JFK wanted to shatter it to 1,000 pieces.
Yeah.
Trump, I'm wondering what Trump's doing with it. But I think the CIA now answers to the NSA, if I'm not mistaken. It kind of...
They're supposed to all answer to the DNI, but as we've been finding out, they've been following Tulsi and even raided her place, and they're supposed to answer to her, not the other way around. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's a faction of bad people, definitely. When you're reading that, it reminded me of China and the Opium Wars. So, like, England did that to China. They basically, under the 1842 Treaty of Nanking, China was required to pay $21 million in reparations for destroyed opium and war costs. Second Opium War, the 1860 Convention of Beijing imposed an additional 8 million taels of silver in reparations to Britain and France. And this is because the English brought in opium, and the China got hooked on it, and it had a huge economic impact. And it just the same game plan that he was explaining, and it's done throughout history where they upend through
Disgusting.
Yeah,
I mean, and go ahead, bud.
And the CIA essentially did it here in America in 2020 with all that stuff. Or it was the same tactics were used by somebody else, another organization of some sort. This guy talks about this big corporation. Which one is he talking about? The Empire of the City that we played before, or which corporation is he pointing to? But yeah, it's just very interesting.
The United States Corporation, United States of America, which it absolutely is.
Then you have the City of London and Vatican. It's the Tri-City, the city of the Empire State. Remember the video?
Yeah. Oh, very good documentary. If anybody's not seen that, you definitely need to. Oh, that's another great documentary as well. Dude, here's some fun. Hillary Clinton, of course. This is what Trump's done to the people's house. A third of it's rubble, another third is a cage match. What a metaphor. Well, I guess, people aren't getting BJs in the back, cheating on their wife inside of there. I guess that's a plus, right? And, dude, this is going to be amazing when it's done. And, of course, you're going to take a picture during construction. It's not going to look so great, right? Like, come on. So just a little
that's a huge construction site. It's impressive. And he says it goes 6 stories down. So we know there's a lot going on in a 6-story underground bunker, essentially.
Dude, she got one comment on 10 million views. One comment.
It says only some accounts can reply.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I can't because I don't follow her. Oh, it's probably, yeah. she probably, you see this dork Marv. Yeah, he's in her side for sure. So, dude, what country was that was supposed to be for last? I forgot what it was because apparently Trump's in their pocket and he's doing whatever BB wants.
Oh, is that Israel?
Oh, yeah, Israel's for last. Okay. I pulled up some interesting headlines from this one. Let's see. You're effing crazy. Huh. Who said that? You're effing crazy. Trump fumes at Netanyahu and call on Lebanon. Really? Trump reportedly told Netanyahu, "You're effing crazy. You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving your ass. Everybody hates you now. Everybody hates Israel because of this." Wait. I thought they're the best of buddies. President Trump lashed out at Bibi over Israel's escalation in Lebanon and in an expletive-laden call on Monday, 2 U.S. officials and a third soft briefed on the matter told Axios. So it says earlier on Monday, he called Netanyahu crazy and accused him of ingratitude. According to 2 sources, he also put the brakes on Israel's plan to strike Beirut. So I wasn't paying for this website here, but essentially, what did I say months and months ago? It's never going to be enough for these guys, and I do understand we got Hezbollah inside of Lebanon and other places, but as well, it's never going to be enough. And it looks to me like they're having a little bit of friction here, buddy. So I don't know.
Well, then he truthed out. I had today at 5:47 p.m. I had a conversation with Bibi Netanyahu today, asking him to not to go into a major raid of Beirut, Lebanon. He turned his troops around. Thank you, Bibi. Also had a conversation with representatives of the leaders of Hezbollah, and they agreed to stop shooting at Israel and its soldiers. Likewise, Israel agreed to stop shooting at them. Let's see how that lasts. Hopefully, it will be for eternity. President Donald J. Trump.
Awesome. I love it, dude. And again, we'll see, right? And that was the whole thing. It's like, well, you got Hezbollah over there, they're still doing stuff, and then Israel's hitting them. And again, for me, the worst thing for us that we've seen, obviously we don't want to lose, soldiers, of course, right? But we're essentially hitting them from afar. They're not hitting anything on our land, essentially. And it's essentially a waiting game, like Besant was saying. Like, they're going to have to either turn off the friggin' spigots or they're screwed. So we can wait. Want to wait another week? Like, every day that they wait is, like, really, really bad for them. And then as we saw, anybody that came in, maybe a little late or to the second show, we got allegedly the president of Iran says, he wants to resign. So usually you don't want to resign when things are going really good is how I read things, Mac. But I could be wrong. I'm never 100% right.
Yeah, there's along the lines, United States is Israel. Bibi's got this. I don't know if you've heard any of his recent public speakings, but he's rather aggressive. I think Trump's been able to use him usefully in order to take care of some problems. Every country's got a deep state. We just went over the CIA, and other entities probably going into countries to influence stuff. So, I think to some extent, and I'm just assuming here because that article, I'm not sure how true it is that Bibi is going off kilter a little bit. He's not looking at it as peace. He's looking at it as a conqueror. And this greater Israel thing, why do you need a greater Israel? Like, just be happy with the country you got given when you get kicked out of Europe. Is essentially what that's why they formed Israel, because of World War II. And be happy with peace. But Hopefully, I think President Trump has a good relationship with Bibi. We'll find out, how this turns out. But I think Israel's probably scared Hezbollah into peace as well. Brute force can do a lot, and it's been leveled from pictures I've seen. It's been I have been following what we've been doing. I have not been following what Israel's been doing as much.
Yeah, me too. Just hitting places from afar or whatever. And just so everybody in the chat knows, instead of deleting the first one, I just called. I got 2 videos from Hold the Line today. Now we got part 1 and part 2. So we're into part 2 right now due to Space Shot's not hiring a good producer. Jamie, damn it, Jamie. Okay, let's see, dude. What the F, if I may say so? Why the hell does Google even have mosquitoes? Can anybody explain to me, like, before whatever the hell they're going to do with them, why does Google own why do they own 32 million, at least 32 million mosquitoes, bro? Like, anybody give me a good answer about that one?
Do the mosquitoes have technology in them?
Do they surf the web? They're like bots set up to negative comment on conservative posts. But no, like, so Tim Burchett says, oh, again, like me, why does Google have 32 million mosquitoes? Have we not learned our lesson with kudzu, sparrows, blackbirds, Asian carp? Should I go on? Don't mess with the balance of nature. And then Remarks here is posting, Google plans to release 32 million mosquitoes in California and Florida. Get this, Mac, to help stop diseases. Excuse me?
It's stupid. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Stop diseases? Because spread diseases, right?
Google does not, in quotation, own mosquitoes in literal sense, but its life sciences subsidiary, Verily, Verily, is seeking EPA approval to release 32 million specially treated male mosquitoes across California and Florida over the next 2 years. It's known as the Debug Project, aims to combat mosquito-borne diseases with West Nile virus and St. Louis encephalitis by reducing wild mosquito populations without using chemical pesticides. This is ridiculous. They're just, mutations occur, and then this is how you get, mutations of compounds possibly turn into mutations of diseases when they're mixed with people. This is crazy. And I don't quite understand why Google wants to be involved. There has to be some sort of technological advancement here, or that they're not really in the medical game, right? I don't know. This is wild.
Is it too early to start organizing $100 trillion class action lawsuit by anyone who gets stung?
These are classic people, government doing something without actually weighing in on the consequences.
Yeah, it's not good at all. Not good.
Not just short term, but long term. And hopefully we get ahead of this and it doesn't happen. But I ran across this article too, and I was just like, this is insane.
Yeah, that's bananas. Let's see. Take a look-see at this here. I thought this was interesting. So this is actually, I need to go to his poster today because it's embedded into it. So, dude, have you heard about this stuff that, like, if you get stung by this friggin' this tick, you all of a sudden can't eat meat, you can't have dairy, like anything that comes from a cow, essentially, you are...
I've heard of it.
Dude, it's like, what the F are these people doing?
I might know someone that something happened to her, and it was a while ago, but she came back and she said she couldn't eat meat anymore, and they had to go to the hospital. I didn't ask for like details. I felt uncomfortable because it didn't seem like it was open information to her. So I just left it alone. But I've heard that this is a real thing, and I don't know where this stems from because it just all of a sudden showed up. So you gotta
nasty.
think that it's been introduced somehow to make this happen.
So they got some good information on this. It says study finds 96% remission rate of alpha-gal syndrome. So that's what they're calling it, alpha-gal syndrome, with auricular acupuncture. Nearly 500,000 Americans are now affected by tick-induced meat allergies. A peer-reviewed study reports almost unbelievable results using a little-known form of ear acupuncture. I also heard they were doing some sort of a vaccine for it as well. Said research has evaluated 137 patients. Among patients, follow-up data, 96% reported remission of symptoms after treatment. Many who previously could not tolerate beef, pork, dairy, or other mammalian foods were reportedly able to reintroduce them without allergic reactions. Procedure is unusual. Patients do not ingest or get injected with alpha-gal. Instead, they simply touch a vial containing the allergen while clinicians identify a reactive point on the ear using electrical detection. A tiny acupuncture needle is then placed in a specific auricular zone and left in place for about 3 weeks. Even among patients with a prior history of anaphylaxis, 93.1% reported no subsequent symptoms after accidental or, in some cases, intentional exposure following treatment. No adverse reactions to acupuncture procedure itself were reported. This was a retrospective case series, not a randomized controlled trial, but with AGS cases exploding and no accepted treatment beyond avoidance, a reported 96% remission rate is difficult to ignore. So at least there's one. I mean, what would you rather do if they said, "Hey, Mac, you got bit by this tick, and now it makes you sick to eat any of this stuff, and to fix it, well, you can do some acupuncture in your ear, or we can give you a vaccine." Which one are you going for?
Probably go with acupuncture first.
Yeah, me too. I think most of us will be doing that as well.
I'm sure there's going to be a natural remedy at some point outside of just like acupuncture, but it sounds weird to get bit, and then you have this reaction where you can't digest meat. It's an enzyme, like I don't know the whole symptoms and how this. If you eat the meat, does it regurgitate? So that's like a stomach possible lack of an enzyme, so an attack on the digestive system in some way. But there's been rumors that the Lyme disease is a bioweapon that was produced to have deer ticks, and they've never confirmed it. They've just rumored it.
Yeah,
I don't think they actually officially confirmed it, but it was basically said that it was a biological weapon of some sort.
yeah, they had. I think I covered a couple times, but they basically have videos of people finding boxes of ticks on their friggin' property.
Yeah, it's the same
Filming.
thing they're trying to do with the mosquitoes. Google is.
Yeah, this is May 4th right here. Oh, again, I'm doing the whole mixing Chrome with the Brave thing. So this is May 1st or May 2nd. Look at them crawling out of there. Millions of ticks. Story so insane. Farmers continue to report finding boxes full of ticks on their farmland, clearly left there on purpose. Like, dude, you ever see that commercial for like the Dutton Ranch show? I don't even know what it is. Like where the bikers come up and like mess up their land, and they tell them like, "You guys come back here, we're gonna bury you in it." Like, dude, these people would be absolutely get buried on my property.
There's programs, I think, that they were doing these boxes, and they would, I don't know. That looks like a government project they did.
Yeah,
because I have a buddy from high school, and he told me that his job is to fly around a helicopter and drop rabies medication for rabid animals. I think it might be foxes, and they drop it in areas like it's food, but it's got the medication in it, and that's how they distribute.
That's cool.
Yeah, so think about it. This is a similar strategy where they just drop something and say, "Hey, look, we're going to try to let this infect, healthy ticks, and hopefully that'll diminish all this." Whoever stupid did this, I don't know.
Is it Department of Environmental Management? I think it is. So, anyways, one of my brother's friends growing up. I think it's the DEM, Department of Environmental Management. I think I'd have to go back and check, but again, I haven't used Facebook in quite some time, and so I hadn't seen his name's Rob. I'm not going to mention his last name, but this was going back 10, 15 years or so. I went on Facebook and I clicked on it, and I see his name is like Pedro, and I'm like, dude, why is your name Pedro? So apparently they have like undercover Department of, I don't know if it's DEM or EPA or who it is, but he's like an undercover agent for for one of those organizations. I'm like, really? They have those? He's like, yeah, I can't keep my real name online and this, that, and the other. So I'll get you that information later of what organization it is, but it's pretty crazy. Like, they need to be doing stuff like this, and what your friend's doing is amazing stuff too, dude. Like, I didn't even think that they would be doing stuff like that for, for rabies and things like that, but it does make good sense, and it's a good, good thing that they're doing, obviously. So
Yeah, they got programs all over the place that do this kind of stuff. I know Florida, they sprayed for mosquitoes, and it really does take the population of mosquitoes down, but you got to wonder what the implications are for humans.
true. Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna stick on the, I guess because this was kind of farmland stuff. So I guess we'll stick on more farmland stuff. Do you see? I don't know if you dropped me this story or not. I think you might have. But let's take a listen. Local news here, guys.
Now on Just One station, horses missing after a barn break-in. That search ending hours later and not far from their home. 2 animals found butchered about a mile away.
And tonight, their owners, as you can imagine, are looking for answers. The Night Team's Alex Browning has this exclusive.
For somebody to have the stomach to do something like this is heartless.
A heartless horse heist in southwest Miami-Dade over the weekend.
This is the same thing as going into somebody's yard, taking their dog, and cooking it.
Turning deadly. 2 horses swiped from southwest Miami-Dade turned up dead. Their corpses found Sunday morning off southwest 205th Avenue.
Noticed that the fence was cut, and at that point we realized that they were taken.
Owner David says it started sometime overnight Saturday. His 2 horses, Sammy and War on the home front, stolen from their stalls off southwest 207th.
So we don't need to go too much further and that, listen to another 40 seconds for no reason. Illegal immigrants broke into the family's ranch, stole the horses, and ate them. I wonder if that's a cow ranch, Mac. Like, they took a horse and butchered a horse. Maybe that's all they could get.
I don't know. It's just strange, the whole thing. There are not many places that eat horses, France does it. I didn't know that was a big thing for, again, where are the illegal immigrants from? I was going to say Latin America, but again, now it could be anywhere because there were so many that came into our country.
Dude, it's crazy. And I got a little bit of a funny, and this is and was made, not by me, but whoever made this, to be a funny. So you're going to see some things in here, like one of the kids comes out with like a fake rocket launcher, but it's all for the comedy. So you'll see here, guys. It's different countries and how same technology, different cultures, different instincts, right? So like here in America, what the hell is this thing? Boom. Look at, he's coming out with a friggin' he comes out with a rocket launcher. Like, oh, they're a bunch of idiots. Okay, over in, what's that, Finland? They're being helpful. Yay. Meanwhile, just a little comedy on the side. But I mean, dude, that's exactly what this stuff is all about. It's you're not, what's the word I'm looking for? Assimilating into the country, right? Like, I can't say it enough. If you've lived here for 10 years, 20 years, and you can't even speak the language, like, what are you doing, right? Like, if I had moved to another country where they spoke another language, that would be, like, one of the first things I would try to do is learn the language, right? Like, oh, what do you not do around here? Like, oh, can you just, pull a girl to the back there and, pull her pants down and do whatever you want to her? No? Oh, wait, this is the place that's not good for? Because we could do whatever we want where we came from. No, that's not really valid anywhere. So the whole thing about, like, when I see the stories about RAPE over here in the United States and people from other countries are like, well, they're from another country. Yeah, show me what country that is, like, legitimate and that's okay to do there. That's what I want to know. I'll wait. Let's see.
Well, I mean, I think in certain countries, unfortunately, in the Middle East, it is possibly okay, given what's written in the religious texts.
You want that woman, you take that woman.
Yeah, basically, it's terrible.
What was that? God, that was the Three Amigos, I think it was. Okay. Going over here to a little Cali action. James Woods comes out of the woodwork. Wink, wink. And you hear what that other guy said in that last one? He was like, it's a horse. It was 3 H's. It was a horse something H. H, H, H. But Newsom has blood on his hands. Today's cover. An illegal immigrant who was deported 3 times. Not once, not twice, but 3 times deported, is accused of murdering an infant and 2 women in Modesto. I gotta be careful what I say, Mac. Apparently, like live on the stream yesterday, I said, "Oh yeah, my stepson," and then I got some messages of people like, "Wait, you got a stepson?" I'm like, "No, I don't have a stepson. I never said that." And they were like, "Yeah, you did. You said yes." And apparently, I did say it, but I don't have a stepson, so that was funny. But yeah, dude. I mean, disgusting that we even have to cover a story like this. I don't even like having to click on this story to show people, but we absolutely have to because they need to hold these people to account. And it's just disgusting, bro. Like to the point where you're gone 3 times, but hey, he's got a nice little area over there. We protect the people over here. We protect the illegals here in California, New York, and Massachusetts, and other similar places. And this is the result. Scumbags. What do you think, brother? Newsom going down to get a chance to win?
I don't think he can. He can't run again.
I don't think he's running. That's right. But what do you think about Spencer Pratt? You think he's gonna beat the
I
Democrats?
like what he says. We talked about him, but then I looked into like who's funding him, and it's not great.
Yeah, who is funding him?
Where was it? I posted it down here.
Oh, didn't he say that the guy's paying for his hotel or something like that?
Spencer Pratt's mayoral campaign, funded by a high-profile coalition of Hollywood executives, tech billionaires, and sports moguls, including Google co-founder Sergey Brin, media billionaire Haim Saban, and Universal Music Group CEO Sir Lucian Grange. As of
Sergey Brin?
Yeah.
Oh no, dude.
Key donors, tech business Sergey Brin. Cryptocurrency billionaires Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick,
word.
Hedge fund manager Dan Loeb. Entertainment, we got Jeannie Buss, Lakers president, Brian Grazer, Imagine Entertainment, David Foster and Catherine McPhee, who also hosted a fundraiser, Elliot Grange, Atlantic Records CEO, political figures, Nicole Avant, former Obama ambassador, and Justine Bateman.
Justine Bateman. Well, I haven't seen her in a while.
So, he says the right things. I just don't know if he's one of those guys, that's feeding us the 95% plus of truth and then shenanigans. Yeah, shenanigans the rest.
Oh, dude, that's such a heartbreaking thing. But, the other thing is like, at least he's saying that he wants to clean this stuff up. So if he gets in, at least people can hold his feet to the fire. But then maybe he's going to say, I don't give a crap at that point. But the idea that he's being backed by Sergey Brin, Google co-founder, guys, remember, YouTube, Google, Alphabet, Winklevoss twins. Who are these dorks? And dude, I told my son the story about Facebook the other day. Because we were talking about different things, and he goes, well, if Michael Jackson, I said, some people out there believe Michael Jackson might be alive still, and he's like, well, if Michael Jackson's alive, then how did they send his doctor to prison? And I was like, oh, okay, you got a minute? I said, sit down. I said, you ever see the movie The Social Network? And he goes, yeah. I said, it's about Facebook and how the Winklevoss twins tried to sue Mark Zuckerberg for Facebook because, quote, they, helped him invent it. And then I brought up the whole thing about DARPA LifeLog and how it ended on the same exact day that Facebook started. And I said, well, see, Facebook was actually started by the government. And this whole story about Mark Zuckerberg and the Winklevoss twins and how they made a movie about it, all this stuff was all made up. He's like, oh, my word. So
yeah, they're usually government projects prior, and then they pick somebody or people to be the releasers of it. And then you do have some original founders of companies, but you're right on with Facebook.
Yeah, not good.
And I think Bill Gates, was it his dad was DARPA? Who
Wouldn't
was
doubt it.
DARPA? I just did this. I get confused with all these stupid people that I don't care about, but they
Bill
apparently
Gates
rule a lot of us.
part of, and he was in one of
Yeah,
the posts
Jeff
as well.
Bezos' grandfather helped co-found DARPA. It basically kickstarted the internet itself via ARPANET, ARPANET. I have a video if you want to play it. It's about a minute 40.
Yeah, well, give me a chance to run to the men's room really quick. Sure, that'd be perfect. It's this guy right here.
But
yeah, true story of Amazon. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, and then
Did you know
there's
that
another guy. There's another video I found real quick. If you want to play, it has Elon in it, and and some other characters like we're talking about who are kind of placed billionaires or fake billionaires. They're put there. So let's play and see what we got, and I'll let you go do your thing.
I'll be right back.
Did you know that Jeff Bezos' grandfather was one of the founders of DARPA? You know, the super secret Pentagon project that invented the internet? Jeff Bezos has credited his grandfather on numerous occasions for being impactful in his life growing up. Lawrence Preston Guise. Jeff Bezos' grandfather worked for the U.S. government in the now dissolved Atomic Energy Commission. 1958, L.P. Guise helped form the Advanced Research Projects Agency, eventually renamed as DARPA. After the assassination of JFK in 1963, L.P. Guise was appointed as head of the Atomic Energy Commission. 1965, AEC discovers about 300 pounds of weapons-grade uranium missing from the NUMEC plant, Nuclear Materials and Equipment Corps, in Apollo, Pennsylvania. It was founded by a man named Zalman Shapiro. Just 3 years later, in 1968, Israel tests its first nuke. CIA later determined that the material came from the missing NUMEC uranium. It was better known as the Apollo affair. We were told that Jeff Bezos started Amazon in his garage in 1994. We've all seen this pic. Something from nothing. A great American success story. But was he chosen to be a frontman? Interesting enough, John Greenwald of Black Vault tried to pull up LP Guise's records via the Freedom of Information Act, only find out that all the records were destroyed. Jeff Bezos' grandfather, who he credits as the big inspiration in his life, helped found one of the most secretive U.S. government organizations in existence, was part of the know when U.S. nuclear materials were stolen and later found in Israel, and then grandson starts the biggest data collection and storage company in the world in Amazon. It becomes one of the world's richest men, while having all U.S. government records destroyed. And we're to believe Amazon started in a garage with a loan from his parents. Ever wonder why his ex-wife Mackenzie Scott got so much money in the settlement? Knew too much?
Ooh, how much did she get in that settlement?
A lot. I can't remember. But it's also tax-free. So it's a very cunning way to exchange funds. Eminem did it, I think, with his mom and his ex-girlfriend. What better way to pay and not pay taxes is to sue and win and have to pay your mom or your baby's mama tax-free money.
Baby's mama's mama.
So, I think some of this stuff is very conniving in how it's all done. And yeah, we're catching on.
We're on to you. Did you have the fake thing in here? If not,
I'm trying to find.
I'm sorry, no problem.
I'm trying to find. I can't seem to find it currently. I'll have to keep looking.
No problemo. With the show
But
rolls on.
I may find it here in a sec.
No problem. All right, we're gonna pull up a little bit more of what are you guys expecting we're gonna find? Yes, a lot more fraud, and this is 4.5 minutes, but we're gonna listen to about a minute of Robert F. Kennedy.
I want to start. I thought I was going to have a slide here.
I apologize, guys.
Call your attention to this, which is in your. Okay, here it is. Which is in your packet. This.
Why does he always look like he's sunburned?
Of the Early Intervention and Development Program in 2020. It was $38.1 million. This is what we expected to be paying every year. Instead, this year.
So he's saying it was $38 million in 2020, and that's what they expected to pay.
They hit 442.
And this year, This year hit $442 million. Dude, what a huge, huge jump. Let's listen to a little bit more.
I'm showing you that because that's the magnitude of the fraud and the damage that we're talking about today. And I want to thank Todd Blanche, who couldn't be here today, Colin McDonald, and everyone at the Department of Justice for leading this effort. I want to thank also the FBI, who you're going to hear from in a little while, the HHS Office of Inspector General, CMS, and especially Dr. Oz, the White House Anti-Fraud Task Force, and Vice President Vance, and the investigators and law enforcement personnel whose relentless work made today's action possible. Today's arrests represent the largest autism fraud bust in American history. This was not a paperwork error. It was not a technical violation. This was organized threat, organized theft that exploited the most vulnerable children in America, deceived families, stole taxpayer dollars meant to help children with autism access legitimate care and support.
So, dude, people were gaming the system again. And, geez, I don't know why it's doing this every time. This was the cost of the early intervention development. Announces the largest autism fraud bust in U.S. history in, again, you guessed it, Minnesota. Initial cost $38 million. Cost this year $442 million. Quote, this was organized theft that exploited the most vulnerable children in America. This person, war correspondent, says, lay the hammer on these scum. Quote, this was the cost of the early intervention development program in 2020, $38 million to $442 million. So, dude, it was like a free for all essentially, right? These people just came running from the hills and started doing like, what else can we fraud people on?
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to get to the doctors, because don't you have to be medically prescribed or diagnosed as autistic? So,
you would think, right?
Yeah, there's a network going on here. I can see it. And what's crazy is, I think it was Stephen Miller said after all the fraud, or maybe it was Vance, that we basically would break even on our debt.
Yeah.
You know, I think that we've been stolen probably, like, I'm going to stick to it, 90%, and we got 10%. So it was like the devil's like reversal on tithing.
No kidding, right? Let me see. I got some of these too from you. So I downloaded a few other.
Oh, I did find that video I put in the chat, and it's the first little thumbnail.
First blurb here. This one on the left.
Yeah, and the post is to the right of the guy, and Elon actually commented on it. But
really?
yeah. This is very interesting.
Fake billionaires, huh? All right.
Self-made billionaires are a myth, just like unicorns. Of course, being self-made is a nice idea. It suggests that anybody can claw their way to the top if they're willing to work hard enough. It's what the American dream is all about. If Kylie Jenner can become a self-made billionaire at age 21, so can you and I. Even as wages stay stagnant and wealth inequality grows, it's a comfort to think that we're all simply one cosmetics company and some elbow grease away from fortune. Unfortunately, a nice idea is all it is. The origins of self-made billionaires are often depicted as a rags to riches, rise to the top fueled by nothing but personal grit and the courage to take risks, like dropping out of college or starting a business in a garage. But in reality, the origins of many billionaires aren't so humble. They're more like riches to even more riches stories, rooted in upper middle class upbringings. How much risk did Bill Gates take on when his mother used her business connections to help Microsoft land a deal-making software for IBM? Elon Musk came from a wealthy family that owned an emerald mine in apartheid South Africa. Jeff Bezos' garage-based start was funded by a $250,000 investment from his parents. If your safety net to joining the billionaire class is remaining upper class, that's not pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, nor is failing to pay your fair share of taxes along the way. Along with Musk and Bezos, Michael Bloomberg, George Soros, and Carl Icahn have all gotten away with paying 0 federal income taxes some years. That's a big helping hand, courtesy of legal loopholes and American taxpayers who pick up the tab, all while our tax dollars subsidize the corporations owned by these so-called self-reliant entrepreneurs. Did you get a thank you card from any of them? I sure as hell didn't. Other common ways that billionaires build their coffers off the backs of others include paying garbage wages and subjecting workers to abusive labor conditions. But portraying themselves as rugged individuals who overcame poverty or did it on their own remains an effective propaganda tool for the ultra-wealthy, one that keeps workers from rising up collectively to demand fairer wages, and one that ultimately distracts from the role that billionaires play in fostering poverty in the first place. Billionaires say their success proves they can spend money more wisely and efficiently than the government. Yet they have no problem with government spending when it comes to receiving corporate subsidies. When arguing for even more tax breaks, they claim each dollar the government takes from them is a dollar less for their critical role in expanding prosperity for all Americans through job creation and philanthropy. Well, that's rubbish. 50 years of tax cuts for the wealthy have failed to trickle down. As a result of Trump's tax cuts, 2018 saw the 400 richest American families pay a lower tax rate than the middle class. And U.S. billionaire wealth grew by $2 trillion during the first 2 years of a pandemic that was economically catastrophic for just about everybody else. They want to have their cake and everyone else's cake and eat it too. Behind every 10-figure net worth is systemic inequality, inherited wealth, labor exploitation, tax loopholes, and government subsidies. To claim these fortunes are self-made is to perpetuate a myth that blames the wealth gap on the choices of everyday Americans. Billionaires are not made by rugged individuals. They're made by policy failures and a system that rewards wealth over work. Know the truth.
That's pretty interesting, huh, dude? I mean, of course, this guy gets a lot of subsidies. We know Elon does.
Well, I mean, that's the big thing about corporations. When they come into a city, they're promised, state, usually tax deductions and so forth, for the return of bringing in, workers and so forth. It is a system, I think, that needs to be revamped in some way, shape, or form. I'm not on that level, but Elon's doing a good job right now, but all his money has been taxpayer money. So
yeah,
SpaceX is about to go public, I believe, in an IPO. I don't know if it already has.
Not yet.
But his hard work grew it. There isn't a whole lot of people in the rocket business or can afford to be in the rocket business. I think that's why it's so non-competitive. But now you got some billionaires stepping up, but there's money to be made in that game. It's representing our taxpayer money. So I think President Trump's got everything in check now, which is nice.
Like we got a little answer for you right here, buddy. Let's see. And again, I'm transferring from Chrome to Brave here, because I was looking for when this was, and apparently it's coming in about 10 days. Oh wait, no, this wasn't the one I just did. Okay, here we go. These are the questions earlier here. Okay, so public filing was May 20th. Targeted around June 4th to 8th, and then the pricing is around June 11th. First trading day as early as June 12th. Some reports note possible minor delays. This would be one of the largest IPOs in history, potentially raising tens of billions at valuation reportedly in the $1.75 to $2 trillion range. Elon Musk would retain significant control, dual class shares, a roughly 42% equity, high voting power. No, IPO dates can shift due to market conditions, SEC feedback, other but current reporting suggests or points to mid-June. SpaceX, which includes Starlink, has been prepping for this for months, reversing Musk's earlier reluctance. So, dude, what do you? I mean, I know this is going to be next to impossible, but like, you have any idea of a ballpark of how much you think one share would be? Anybody?
No, I have no idea. I don't get into that, but I know that it's going to take off. It's going to be, but the real, and I think some other people have said it as well as what I'm about to say, is that what's his other company, the AI company? What's it called?
XAI, I think.
I think that's the real deal one. That's where all the valuable stuff is, and SpaceX might be like an offshoot of that because of AI is going to be such a huge component. But SpaceX is going to be through the roof. I don't think it will lose value unless it loses its technological edge.
What? So that's SpaceX. What companies? Is it just SpaceX that's in that? It says companies.
He owns the Boring Company too. I just don't know what other companies SpaceX itself owns.
Companies inside this IPO. So I want to see if it's just that. I mean, if it's 130 to 150 bucks, he said, I mean, it's going to probably take off like crazy. So if you could grab some of that for sure, I would recommend. Don't listen to the guy who was telling you to buy gold when it was $1,717 for silver. Don't listen to him. Let's see. Main components included in the IPO: space, launch operations core of SpaceX, connectivity to Starlink, and then AI and compute via XAI integration. So that's inside of this. X and formerly Twitter. So this is all in there? The SpaceX IPO ticker, SPCX.
So Twitter just paid itself back.
Yeah, right. It's for the parent company, Space Exploration Technologies Corp., which now includes several major integrated businesses and subsidiaries. He's not just rockets anymore. Following the February 26 acquisition merger with XAI, the public company will bundle multiple high-growth areas under one roof. Main components included in the IPO. So you got SpaceX, Starlink, XAI, Twitter, formerly Twitter X, business segments. Starlink is wholly owned subsidiary, now spinning off for the IPO, and the structure gives investors exposure to the, quote, full Musk ecosystem stack, rockets and satellites, plus AI, plus compute, plus social data. No other standalone companies are being taken public here. It's one integrated entity. Post-IPO, a Starlink spinoff remains possible in the future, but it's not part of this listing. Oh, wait. It just says post-IPO, a Starlink spinoff remains possible.
It's everything under one roof. I mean, that's going to be huge. This is where he gets the 10 trillion if it's possible.
Oh, he didn't have Starlink in here. Oh, yeah, it's right here.
Like, he does, yeah. He got Starlink. He's got all the components in there probably to.
That's crazy. Let's see what the folks in the chat are saying.
Now, what does that mean as far as making decisions once it becomes an IPO? How does that work?
He's still got the majority. I think it's, 46.5%, and he's got a majority. And plus, if he can get 100,000 people living on Mars, he's going to get 100,000 or 1 million super votes for the company or something. So, yeah, if he can do that, which I'm just going to bet that he's not going to be able to do anytime soon. That's just my guess. Let me just thank a couple people here quick. Mr. MacGyver 4269 over on YouTube, so left a super chat. I'm remembering here. $2 super chat says, Ohio is on deck. And this was probably from a little bit earlier. But I appreciate that, MacGyver. And G Fonts at the end of yesterday's stream, this came in, and he was replying to somebody else. He wrote, he was replying to Untitled 82. He says, nope, I'm independently wealthy. He dropped the $5 Rumble rant. Well, if you're independently wealthy, you can make that like a $5 million Rumble rant. Just saying. Just kidding. But Warrior Mima, thank you so much as well. Gifted out 5 subscriptions to the channel. That helps greatly, as well as all of the super chats and stuff like that. So I do appreciate that. And the last one, but not least, Lee337, my best friend's name. And 337 is Lee upside down. So grateful with an 8 there. Says thank you. Learned so much. Seriously, thank you. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And somebody had left a comment on the YouTube video the other day. They said, "Oh, I'd really like to donate to you, but I'm just really hurting, and but I hype you up and share your stuff, and trust me, guys, I appreciate that. It's more than you guys know. I'll never sit here and ask you guys for donations. Just simply you guys watching and giving us a thumbs up and sharing is adequate. So we do greatly appreciate that as well. So
Say we're grassroots. We just started because of popularity and just kept going.
kept it going. Just kept it going. Yep.
But we were talking about Sergey Brin, and we go to Q Post 4897. We got a little segue into this a little bit.
Let's see. 4897. 4897. Ding. Oh, dude, that's right. I forgot. And she's gone. Which one? She's gone on the right, right? Yeah, she's gone. Her son died, and then apparently she passed away within a couple of months after. He had what, an overdose, I think? A drug overdose? I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure. I don't know, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I'm
then
pretty sure the son died of an overdose. But yeah, go for it, sir.
And then there's a whistleblower that claims the CIA used DNA data from Ancestry and 23andMe customers in search for aliens. So we know the CIA is in the background, all up in Google. We know the CIA started Google. Now they're trying, 23andMe, they're married at the time, and they're giving away DNA database. And then we got, YouTube.
Thank you very much. Where is this one? This one here. Let's do it like this. Ding. Taste and go. Marco Troper, 19-year-old son of former YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki, died from an accidental drug overdose. Whoops. He was found unresponsive in his dorm in Berkeley, where he was a freshman majoring in drug consumption. Autopsy and toxicology report, alprazolam, Xanax, cocaine, amphetamines, and hydroxyzine. Oh, he had some allergies, so he had an antihistamine. Xanax, cocaine, and amphetamines. I mean, what's an amphetamine? That's like an upper, right? Like it would be like people take like Quaaludes in the 70s. Like I think that's like speed, isn't it? Well, let me look.
I believe so.
Sorry, I stick to the natural stuff, guys. Stuff you can pull out of the ground in plant form, if you catch what I'm saying. Amphetamine is a central nervous system stimulant that used to the treatment of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD.
Ritalin or
So yeah, he was one of those dudes. So yeah, so he's on cocaine, and then on something on Xanax, and then something for like autism. That's weird, dude. Yeah. So
not autism, ADHD.
Well, yeah,
it's like What are some of those drugs? There's a couple like popular ones that.
Oh, what do they used to call them? Something bars or something like that. I used to. Hear
Possibly, yeah.
Like the bars, but dude, this is huge too, right here. And that whistleblower. What did he say about the? He said it was 23andMe was doing it, right? For as far as trying to get the DNA database and like using it for, what did you say before? It was like COVID or something like that, or I forgot what the use.
They were trying to find aliens in
That's right.
the CIA. So that goes along with the human trafficking, and what they've been doing with the NGOs too is that rumor, I'll just say allegedly, quote unquote, they're getting less fortunate people with talents of the cerebral type, because they're trying to control these foreign substances that they found, like alien made, that are activated by consciousness, is what they are rumoring. So our government will have these programs to try to recruit these people into these. They're basically, slaves, I guess, the rest of their lives if they're good at it. So there is some really nefarious stuff going on behind the scenes, in my opinion, having to do with this stuff.
My buddy Methods post right here. I don't even remember what. So this is 12/2 of 19. So you'd have to go back maybe 2 months. So maybe post 48. Yeah, 4,400, 4,300. I have no idea. M2 Madness. Let me see. Let's go. Was it 2019? Let's go the other way. He got queued quite a bit. Yeah, here it is. I forgot how many times he got queued. I always used to complain to him, going, "I'm never gonna get queued, dude." Then they were like, "Here's one on Father's Day. Shut your trap." Dude, remember this? Like how fake everything was? And don't you find it interesting that when President Trump left the White House, nobody seemed to go searching for this at all and finding out what was going on? Why? I think they all knew what was going on, right? And it was like the thing they didn't want to say out loud, even though they were asked, President Trump was asked a couple of times about it. Well, you do know. No, I don't know. And he's like, you can say whatever you want, but I don't know. This was interesting times. These were fun times, guys. Really good, fun pushing back. And again, we were crushing and basically running, Twitter and all the social media and maybe doing too good of a job. And then we got then somebody put the brakes on us. Dude, did you see this? I couldn't believe this is today, but this guy usually posts stuff pretty, on point and not older stuff. But Chris Krebs, dude, finally, listen to this. We're not playing 4 minutes. Play about a minute.
Christopher Krebs, the former head of CISA. This is a man who weaponized his position against free speech in the election context, in the context of COVID-19. The presidential memorandum to the one you just signed. Appearances he might have, and further instructs your Department of Justice, other aspects of your government, to investigate some of the malign acts that he participated in while he was still head of CISA.
This is 25.
This is another one.
Pardon my Francais, guys. Again, you're going off the fucking. Pardon me, guys. Go on, Zoe. Can't do this shit no more.
Yeah, they post old videos.
Yeah, dude. And I remember too. But
there was a guy that got caught with $32 million worth of gold bars that were the CIA. That happened this past week.
Yeah,
he got arrested.
Oh, dude, and we're definitely going to talk about that. But the reason I brought this up too is because I don't remember how long ago I was talking to Hulk about it, but he was like, yeah, he kept his security clearance for a very long time. And he goes, I think he still has it. And so I didn't even think one thought, but sorry, real Robert, you're gone, dude. And maybe he said it in there, but he just leaves it as like here. And there's nothing about 2025 in here. Ugh. Oh, wait. Yeah, old news. I'll post them later. But anyways, yes, I got that one. And what do you make of the Paymaster? Because I think that's what it was, Mac. The Paymaster that I'm going to pull up for the folks here. The gold guy. And he was absolutely a Paymaster. So people may wonder like what we're talking about. President Trump posted this out that Mac shared with us here on May 30th. So yesterday, the day before, 5:50 p.m. Time to physically audit Fort Knox. See how I just said that like a New Englander? Fort Knox. The New Englander just came out at me really quick. Let's see. Former CIA official arrested after feds find $40 million of gold bars stashed at his home. And so I did a little digging on this stuff, and apparently it wasn't all done in like one, fell swoop where he had all these gold bars and he just stole it or whatever. But it appears that incrementally over the years, because in the story where they talk about it in the New York Post, they say essentially that he told the CIA that he needed it for, quote, work-related expenses. And then we had Ghost and Mike on there who are privy to operations and how these things go. And they'll say, yeah, well, if we're in the Middle East or something like that or doing this, we'll go up and say we need to get this much money or this much, gold or whatever the thing may be. And we have to sign our names for it or whatever. And we do have to account for it. So, but the thing that strikes me most interesting, or one of the most interesting things for me, Mac, is that this guy apparently thought nobody was going to be missing $40 million worth of gold. Like he maybe thought he could squirrel it away, or was there just so much of, in one hand and out the other that he maybe thought to them or the government it was small potatoes and they're not going to miss this. That's what I get the feeling like. Not that he was like so brazen.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm,
He
and
probably,
I'm so smart. He probably said, they'll probably lose this, or they're not going to be looking for this.
yeah. There's some nefarious activities going on because you don't just have that stored at your house for future operations.
Well, yeah, for current operations, like, oh, we need to go pay this guy off here, so I need a bar of gold or whatever. And apparently, you can't use cash in certain areas, but like, how many times do you
something
right?
you say when you're like a little kid? You get caught. You're like, yeah, I'll save it for later.
I was just doing. I don't know. New York Post. Let me pull this one up.
And that timestamp, if you look at it as 1750, 5:50 p.m., 1750 military time. Q Post 50 mentions uranium.
This is so funny. You ready? Oh
Yeah.
my God. You're gonna laugh your ass off. All right, so what about this guy's like work history or whatever, right? Like, what did this guy do or whatever? This post from the New York Post is absolutely hilarious, right? Real Robert, you are out of my life forever. Never again. Come on. I need to hit enter. Here we go. One more time. Come on. One more time. Right? One more time.
It's loading. The X is up right there.
Dude, what
on
is
the
going
upper
on?
left-hand corner.
Oh, this is now watch this. Yeah, see this is why, dude. Like some people are saying like, oh, you need to use the Brave browser. That's the Brave browser. Is it my computer shitting the bed right now here? What's going on? All right, so that loaded up pretty quick. So the Brave browser definitely does hide commercials and stuff, but it loads up like a friggin'
It usually
really slow.
loads up quick.
Not
It could have
fun.
just been, yeah.
And then certain things it removes.
I'm the one that told you about Brave because Lisa told me about it, and I'm like, this thing's awesome. You get any advertisements when you're watching a video.
But when you go to YouTube, sometimes you'll see in the bottom left corner, it'll say like, it'll load slow, and then it'll say experiencing interruptions. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And it's like, all right, we'll stop using this friggin' browser. But dude, how funny is this link? You need to steal 300 gold bars before the CIA even checks your resume? What? So yeah, it says, how can anyone trust the CIA to get anything right after this? Fine. The agency finally took a hard look at employee David Rush after he requisitioned and took home 300 kilos of gold and millions of dollars in foreign currency. And remember, he had Rolexes and stuff like that as well, according to an FBI affidavit. But it failed to check his faked resume for over 15 years before that. That not only boosted his pay and helped him win promotions, it won him extra leave. This isn't swiping a few pens from the supply closet or stretching out lunchtime 15 minutes. It looks more like grand larceny. It's not clear exactly what Rush was up to, and don't be too surprised if the details remain muddy, but nothing can explain how anyone in the intelligence community can request $40 million in gold bars for, quote, work-related expenses and just get it. As for the resume, all anyone needed to do was check records at another branch of the government, the U.S. Navy, plus at universities whose registrars confirm academic records all the time. What, if anything, is the CIA vetting about its hires? The ones who run America's spy operations and give our leaders intelligence and analysis about the abilities and intentions of the nation's enemies and potential allies. Rush is now in jail on charges linked to the resume padding. Really? He allegedly claimed to have degrees from Clemson University and Rensselaer Polytech Institute, though he never attended either, per court papers, and falsely said he'd been a Navy pilot. Did the CIA not even investigate his military record when vetting his security clearance? The failures are too numerous for this to be a one-off case. The incompetence is practically institutionalized. Wow.
I want to know why the CIA wanted this guy to begin with. It sounds like they made up his background and just put him in.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's classic CIA stuff. Cover up their real identity and make up a story, and then
right. I mean, it's
convince the public it's true.
Never, dude. I can't believe this. Like, honestly, they never checked
We need
this
more
guy's
of this.
resume.
We need more of this, please.
Like never.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's total BS. Yeah, I mean that I can read through that.
Yeah, either that or Either that or it's a cover story, like you said. I don't know, dude.
I think that he probably, he got all this gold. We still don't know why he first got hired, what he was involved in. It's probably all top secret stuff. And it's pointing out some serious corruption here. So this news article is, I guess, a really wishy-washy way of saying the CIA got caught.
Ooh, or the CIA is incompetent, fraudulent, and again, what does Post
All the
14 tell
above?
us? Yeah, what does Post 14 tell us? One of my favorite posts of all time there. What must be shown or what must be completed to engage military intelligence over the three-letter agencies? Oh, I don't know. How about you're spying on the president, you're trying to take down the president of the United States, you're incompetent and even vetting your friggin' employees, like that you're a total joke. But I think
Let's go, Tulsi. We're waiting.
going out in a blaze of glory. Let me see if I can. Catherine Harridge right here. So yeah, she does this, from time to time. She'll write like breaking or whatever. And like I said before, for Gabbard, she had like let me see if I can pull this. I wonder how many times she's posted this, because I only noticed this last week once. Legacy. See? Legacy. DNI Gabbard declassified highly sensitive records and internal documents from the Obama White House. The records make an even stronger case the 2016 Russia collusion narrative was not rooted in credible intelligence. Rather, intelligence was manipulated by the outgoing Obama administration in coordination with intelligence community leadership to fit a preferred political narrative. As of May 2026, DNI Gabbard has declassified well over 500,000 pages of government records that were previously withheld from the American people. So, dude, I'm loving that. Chuck Grassley, his legacy, service, and sacrifice will endure for generations to come. So, yeah, she doesn't seem to do this a lot. Legacy of suffering, legacy of this.
When she puts a legacy, it reminds me of the legacy program. And there's like two references. One's for UAP stuff, which the more and more I'm looking at how they cover up things in the UAP program too. So I wonder to what extent. But the other one's a federal conservation and resource management programs. Officially, several U.S. government programs are legally designated as a legacy program. Forest Legacy Program, the Department of Energy Legacy Management, and the Department of Defense Legacy Program.
Interesting. This says the legacy program represents the ultimate hubris of the military-industrial complex, the belief that a small group of unelected officials has the right to gatekeep reality itself.
So does that sound about right with what Catherine's posting about?
Yes. Louis Elizondo. Yeah, I know this stuff. This guy well as well. But
yeah, I just don't trust Lou.
Lou.
I look at a lot. I look at a lot of this stuff and just try to dig for new information that's unique or matches up to other accounts that haven't been like intel'd with.
Oh God, what was that? Saw something from our friend Lynn there. Looks like the last post on True Social was the one with BB, and they were having I don't think he's in any rush right now. I think they want to make some things, but they're not willing to move their red line, dude. And for those of you who came in late, Iran and talking about Iran a little bit. And for those of you that came in late, it's being reported, and I showed the article earlier, and, whether it's legit or not, they're saying the president of Iran is wanting to resign. So I thought that was cute. You don't generally do that if you're winning and doing good. This was cool.
And Iran's just basically desperate. They're trying to do whatever they can so that the legacy media is also another one. The fake news media, if legacy media picks it up and tries to spin it to make President Trump look bad.
100% of the time.
Every time. There's this huge faction of people globally that are against what President Trump's doing. Like, it's incredible. Why would you not want DC to look good again or great again?
And that's all they're doing is fighting, right?
Yeah, and it's really exposing our judicial system is very corrupt too. So is that I've looked at the judicial system as right now is like the only thing that has not been shown to be really corrupt. And I'm eating those words right now. But what are the steps to fix it? Because they're lifers; they're appointed for life. Is that is that why the military is the only way? Because they're supposed to be the supreme court, the law of the land. And I really think the birthright citizenship verdict is going to be the deciding factor on if that's an option. The military has to step in on that. But I can't believe I would be completely shocked if they didn't do the birthright citizenship. And if they do that, then I'm sure Trump's got it handled, because that's pretty treasonous to go against the Constitution like that. That interpret it like if you're born in America, you're automatically a citizen, even if your parents aren't citizens. That's
Dude, it's,
I don't know.
bad. And
Russians take advantage of that in Miami all the time. I was down there, and I was in the real estate game for a little bit. They would come in with their mistress or their wife who was 6 months pregnant, do a 6-month lease, have their baby, stay, recover 3 months, and then leave, and then their baby would be a citizen. So if it's not just Russian people. Trump's called out the Chinese. Just anybody with money that wants to be an American citizen. This is a huge loophole. So you don't know, they leave right after they're born. They spend their entire life in a different country. You don't know what they're exposed to. They could be another Obama Manchurian candidate, and they could come back in our country and ruin it like Obama did, or even worse.
They can come back and ruin it just like Obama.
Or they can learn ways to make money that's not legal in the United States, but it's legal outside the United States. And then they come back and then, they just corrupt systems. It's going on right now. It's been going on. So hopefully it gets rectified. It's crazy.
It is. And I feel like they've been giving us the wins like when it really counts. And so kind of like you said, eating my own words as I read this, Clarence Thomas puts Democrats on clock as Alabama GOP emergency map bid is stalled. This is from the 28th. So essentially then he declined to immediately hand Republicans a win Wednesday, but ordered their voting rights challengers to quickly defend a court-drawn congressional map that helped Democrats flip a deep red House seat. So they'll basically go back and forth on this and whatnot. But like what I've been seeing is that when it comes down to it, they seem to be voting in the correct way, like we want to for our country, right? Like it seems that way. And so these things will go back and forth and whatnot. But I think they're doing a good job for now, for sure. Dude, you dropped this one. This is a little weird. So we're kind of going into a little. No, actually, before we do that, we're gonna do one more scientists. I think you dropped this one. I don't think I remember bringing this one up, but this was interesting.
Oh yeah.
12 nuclear scientists are mysteriously found dead and or missing. Then a few days ago, the Department of Energy announces it's working deals to sell 20 tons of weapons-grade plutonium from Cold War nukes to 5 private companies. Nothing to see here, folks. I followed the money in the 5 companies, then mapped connections to the missing and dead nuclear scientists, the companies, their leadership, and this deal. Oh, and Pam Joe Bondi. Deep dive is on my Substack link in the bio. It's wild. Enjoy. So I'll drop you guys this link, and you guys can go take a look at maybe her Substack later if you guys find that interesting or not. But here you go into the chat. This is pretty interesting too, because it looks like they're setting up some of these technology folks with I don't know, data center power or something, or is it something more nasty?
I don't know. I came across it. I found it was interesting. They did find the remains of one of the missing scientists. It was an article today. What's her name? Casillas 53.
Oh yeah. I got
Los Alamos National Laboratory. They found her remains. A gun was found near the remains.
Yeah, I touched on that one yesterday, I think. But yeah, they found one of them. And did I play it last week? I'm not going to play it again, but well, one of the guys that was in these programs said essentially that he, having signed NDAs like this, he understands that if, his brain started going crazy, like, the other guy, they said maybe he's starting to get Alzheimer's or scatterbrained, that they would pick him up essentially and, let him live out the rest of his life in some sort of facility. But then you wonder about the other people. Are they talking to people or what's going on? But then here, doesn't look good. DOE surplus plutonium program, 20 metric tons of weapons-grade plutonium, roughly 2,000 bombs worth. So it talks about PCAST, the Federal Advisory Board, Ellison, Katz, Huang, Bondi, Department of Energy, and all this stuff goes down here to Bob Mungard and Nuno. I don't even know if I can pull this up larger here. Let me see. Scroll. Yeah, I hate Twitter does this crap.
Yeah, they didn't do a very good job with that feature. And you lost it.
Warehouse is full. No, we can always just go back. Click. There we go.
There you go.
But yeah, you basically on Twitter, if I click into the image and then I go to do this, it doesn't get any bigger. Just kind of messes around there. But Standard Nuclear, built on bankruptcy, FDA warning letter, research grant, French state lineage. So these companies, Sam Altman, Bob Mungard, Chris Wright, Pam Bondi, she labels her the fixer, Qatar lobbyist, $115,000 a month added to PCAST, May 27th, 2026. PCAST, Federal Advisory Board here. Ellison, Katz, Huang, Bondi, Anderson, Mumgard, DeWitt from Oklo. So yeah, there's McCasland. There's the guy that went missing. 227. Monica Reza. Is that the one that they just found? Reza? Oh,
no,
Casillas,
the one next to
Casillas.
it.
Yeah, Los Alamos, Casillas, missing, now found. Unfortunately dead. Missing Anthony Chavez and Steven Garcia. So not a good situation. Cleaning up, cleaning
Los
up.
Alamos, too, is where Bob Lazar used to work.
Yep. Were they cleaning up loose ties, loose ends here, buddy?
I don't know. It's pretty wild. I mean, I can take it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, if they're getting murdered, then they're trying to cover stuff up.
Yeah, 100%.
Or they were talking to people and it went against their NDA. And I think some of these NDAs are worded so strongly that they can kill them. I don't know if that's legal, but I think in the wording, it's, probably elimination of some sort or death. Especially if it's military too. If it's contracted with military and they sign like a military NDA that's top secret, I don't know to what extent they can go. I'm sure, death is maybe one of them.
Oh yeah, it 100% is one. Don't want to go too deep on this one, other than this apparently freaked some people out. Michael Saylor's
did you
strategy.
see that video?
Yeah, the sells 32 Bitcoin for 2.5 million for the first time. So I'll pull that up. But as I'm pulling that up, did this guy? I don't really know much about this Michael Saylor guy. Does he have a crap load of Bitcoin and he's only been selling stuff recently, or what's the deal with this guy?
He's the American entrepreneur, the executive chairman of Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, a company co-founded in 1989. After serving until 2022, Saylor pivoted the firm into the world's largest corporate Bitcoin treasury, accumulating over 843,706 BTCs, valued at approximately $61 billion. So,
the Bitcoiners right now.
Apparently, MicroStrategies is not doing well. But I thought this was funny because just people that do cryptocurrencies, they put all their trust in what people say, and I'll just let you play it.
Let's listen to the funnies.
Bitcoin this morning? Bitcoin's down to $71,000. I thought you'd never sell your Bitcoin, Michael. I thought you'd never sell Bitcoin. I thought Bitcoin's going up forever. Well, it's not going up forever when you're selling it on my face.
Look at his eyes.
I sold my hyperliquid to my MicroStrategy. You piece of shit. What's hyperliquid at? Michael Taylor, you criminal. You told me to buy this shit and now it's going down. I put my life savings into this bullshit. The stock
That's so funny, dude. It's true too. It's like, oh, the stock market's doing good. All the Bitcoin and crypto seems to be crapping the bed a little bit. Like, down to 71,000. Oh my god, dude! I can't believe it's all the way down to 71,000. Like, yeah, people wanted to buy the dip, I guess. But dude, what do you?
Well,
What do
there's
you
a
think?
lot of criminality in Bitcoin was going on too. So I think Scott Bessent, and Trump have figured out how to deal with that. So,
Oh, 100%.
and it's probably Space Force, all that stuff.
I see you clipped a couple of these, dude. I did.
I made that. I made that meme, but President Trump posted the meme with the similar with that one.
And it seemed like that day it was a lot of posts about, and that's what I named. I uploaded like a 17-minute and 17-second video to YouTube and Rumble, and it's basically I called it like Biden's America versus Trump's America, because that's what it was showing. It was like, here's how President Trump handles this, and here's how Donald Trump handles it. Here's how Biden handles it. People stealing, you can just run out the store with it. With Trump, you're arrested.
I actually made that meme with Grok. It's not bad. I ran out of questions or requests for it to do. So I was gonna add like gang members shooting on the streets and homeless people down there because there wasn't any people on the streets, but.
You got to be on like absolutely on the money with with that stuff. Like you have to be very explicit with your with your words to it, because it will literally tell you, it'll do exactly what you say, and if you say something incorrect, it'll do exactly what you write. So yeah, you got to be very, very specific with some of the things, and even then they screw up. But you had this one from dude. I never knew this dude's eyes were so messed up.
He's got a fake eye.
Oh, is that what it is? All right, now I feel like an asshole
sure.
for making fun of him. Well, maybe I should have been an asshole for making fun of his eye, even if he didn't have a fake eye. But okay, let's see what he's talking about here.
Not getting behind President Trump's agenda in a big way.
Well, I think it sends a message. We need to listen to Donald Trump. He's the leader of the party. I think what he's trying to accomplish, most Americans want. Certainly Republicans want it. And so whatever we need to do to get behind the president, I'm for, and I think that message has been sent both with this election in Texas and the election in Louisiana. So it's pretty unusual for incumbent senators to lose. It's almost never happened in the last 50 years, I think maybe twice. And so this sends a message, 2 in like a month. I think it's something we need to pay attention to.
Yeah, maybe, but let's face it, the Senate leadership did not get behind you in a big way. And even at one point, I think John Thune had an agreement with President Trump saying, if you endorse my guy, John Cornyn, then we'll get the Save America Act over the finish line. That didn't happen. The president endorsed you. How are you going to get the support that you need from Senate leadership in the Republican Party?
How's he going to do it, dude? I think it's going to be good, dude. And Paxton ends Cornyn's 4-year term as Texas senator. I am so happy to hear Cornyn's going to be out on his keister.
Yeah, I thought about this and how it played out because I've been paying attention to Paxton while Trump went with Cornyn, and he's been doing a lot. So if Trump had endorsed Paxton back then, I'm not sure if he would have been able to possibly have gotten a lot of his laws passed. That, so like strategy wise, I'm thinking behind the scenes. They talk about this stuff. So I think Trump did great with picking Paxton because he proved himself. I don't know much about Cornyn. Maybe that was Trump's way of getting to know what he was all about.
Rhino.
Yeah.
Rhino to the max, dude. He was
Paxton's gotten a lot of stuff done. Sharia law. He's tackled all kinds of stuff. Like illegals. Probably transgender stuff. I mean, he went off and he got it all passed. It was great.
Let's see. So I looked up, what's Trump's endorsement winning like recently or whatever, and it basically says he was like 117, 118. What was it? No, this wasn't. Wait, this is not showing the same thing on this side here. As of late May 2026, you seeing any of this? As of late May. Okay, here we go. As of late May, Trump had a perfect 118 record in completed GOP primaries for House, Senate, and I'm not showing my screen. There you go, guys. House and Senate, 118-0 in the completed GOP primaries for House, Senate, and governor races, including many low competition races, included high-profile wins like getting rid of Massey, backing Paxton to defeat Cornyn, strong nights like 37-0 in one set of multi-state primaries, May 19th and 20th. Overall cycle, roughly 55% across 295 endorsements per Ballotpedia, last updated May 19th. That's why I said here, like, oh, how about from May 1st to June 1st? 118-0.
Quietly showing that our elections are being fixed.
Thank you. Right? Because they are. And it's like, well, we need to get this voting act in and this voting act in. And like,
we got that patent for the blockchain of how ballots can be checked. And it was confirmed. We've done it on the show before, but I'm pretty sure they've stepped in and used this as a failsafe. And then also, what were they in Serbia? The servers in Serbia they were connecting to. So I think they might have fixed the machines maybe a little bit in certain areas. Or they're just using a lot of paper ballots too, I'm guessing. And there isn't as much mail-in ballots or allowed.
This was 17 seconds when I just checked it to see if he had any new posts. Literally, he's not showing it anymore, but it was saying 17 seconds when I just clicked it up right here. See, that's the thing. It's showing it on Chrome, but it won't show it on. Showing it on Chrome, but it wouldn't show it on there. Right here, see? Ding. 59 seconds.
Yeah, and then what's the statue? You know?
Is this the one you had a picture of?
No.
With the
different one.
Prince Charles?
No, it's a different one. And I looked that up on Grok. I did post that in the chat, the answer. But I feel like the symbolism on these pictures also
this is why
communicate some messages.
But they cleaned
it
up.
Yeah, the one behind Trump posted it behind King Charles and Trump was the Freedom's Charge, also called a Revolutionary War bronze sculpture by sculptor Chaz Fagan. It's a bronze statue depicting Revolutionary War figures, often described as patriots in a charge forward in battle with dramatic poses involving a flag or raised weapon. It was originally installed at Old Parkland in Dallas, Texas, as part of a 9/11 memorial area and relocated to the White House Rose Garden in April 2026 during renovations.
Interesting. Freedom's Charge.
Grok says this fits the image, a dynamic, larger-than-life bronze figure, 18th century attire behind Trump and King Charles III during the April 28th, 2026 state visit.
Where he helped us celebrate escaping his country 250 something years or 250 years.
The charge part I liked.
The charge part. Yeah, definitely. Charge. Dude, you dropped a very interesting weirdie. I think you dropped
I forget what that statue is, but I'd like to know what that symbology is for that.
Is this a $6 million watch, dude? Like, what am I looking at?
Yes, this is
$6 million. That watch is $6 million.
That's what it's saying. I don't know, but essentially, OnlyFans are like human trafficking. I mean, sign a contract around.
Is that even Kanye? Oh,
it doesn't look like It doesn't look like him, but apparently he signed with Kanye. He did.
So, is this the girl that makes like the most money of any girl? Like,
I have no idea. I don't know anything about OnlyFans.
Let's see. Let's copy this.
But she said, "But see what it's Kanye West has my soul." Did you see that quote?
Yes. So is Sophie Rain the highest paid? Oh, I think that's what her deal was, either that or porn or something like that. Yes, currently one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid, OnlyFans. She has publicly shared screen recordings of her OnlyFans dashboard showing over $101 million in all-time gross earnings as of late January 26th.
I think this is a laundering scheme.
Right? Earlier milestone, 43, 50.
Are there
dude.
really that many people paying money for this crap?
Dude, like, how much I mean, seriously, but like, to the point of where's the story itself? Here it is. So essentially, to your point for the story, it says fans are worried for Sophie Rain. Now they're worried for her, not before. Okay. After Kanye West gifted her a $6 million watch following their $1 billion OnlyFans signing, saying she sold her soul. Kanye West has my soul for $1 billion. Anyone would sell their soul. I don't have to post explicit content anymore. All right, so hold on. She started making all this money by, putting out explicit content, and now he paid her $1 billion, and she's not going to have to do this stuff anymore? Or are they going to digitize it, is my guess.
Dude, I don't know the hustle, but there's something going on.
Yeah, dude, it's something. Let me see.
It's not good.
No, search Brave deal.
I guess this is like the new, X-rated musician of our time, where they basically own you and your music and everything you do.
Oh, they're recreating a moment where Kanye West lookalike at a Shibu in Calabasas. That Rain sued West for inappropriate touching and debunked no legal filings. Watch gift allegations. West gifted.
So it's a false claim. Great. Thanks, fake Twitter.
Dude, and see, like, people don't understand how difficult it is, like, just to verify stuff. And if you got 100 stories going in a show, it's like, dude, that's twice today. And it's like, you have to absolutely do everything.
Yeah, I know. That was my bad. I usually am pretty good about it.
I mean, dude, I did the same thing earlier, but it's like, and the thing is, if people usually are posting out good stuff in current, like, you don't usually have to check it. And
needless to say, I think other OnlyFans people are doing the same thing with other people.
Yeah. It's a racket, dude. It's a big ass racket. So this was cute, dude. Apparently, 2 Tesla Model 3 people.
Airlifted 2 people from a Tesla this morning after it plunged 300 feet off Mulholland Highway.
Whoops.
Did they die?
No, unharmed.
Wow.
Right, 300 feet. But then I'm like, and
how did it go off the cliff?
Well, that's my next question, because everybody's like, well, it's so safe, and yeah, Teslas are great, and they're so safe. It's like, well, wait, why did this thing just jump 300 feet off of Malibu cliff? Anybody tell me that one?
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. Let me see. I think I got one more in the thing here. You had touched on this one here. Let me see. Yeah, this is the last one we got here. Cyber Mike Benz put this out on June 3rd, but he was talking about Bono, dude. And so this is a really good. This is a really good clip to talk about what some of these people do with the funding that they get. Right? You want to make any comments before I play it?
No, just play away. This is exactly what needs to be played to people to learn, because
$5 million was
sorry,
spent on weapons and the political machinery of the party. Just $5 million was used to help the famine relief. So Bono's out there on his guitar. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. They raise $100 million to stop famine, and only $5 million goes to food. $95 fucking million of it goes to buy guns and to organize the political arm of the CIA-backed rebel group. Fuck you, Bono!
300,000 people have already died from just this cut off, this hard cut.
What a bullshit artist, dude, too. Like, so much of this money is so fraudulent, and then they come on these shows and they're like, oh, we need to do this stuff for good people, but you're literally spreading like chaos around the world. Think he knows exactly what's going on? I mean, he probably does. Yeah, let's listen to this.
Yeah.
Of USAID. So there's food rotting, 50,000 tons of food stored in Djibouti, South Africa.
Keep that in mind, what he said about the food, okay? The food is rotting. The food. They say their organization used the cash meant to pay food for the starving to fund attempts to overthrow the government in a bloody civil war. Understand, the State Department hated that government. We called them a threat to democracy. We said they were pawns of Russia. They were under Soviet influence. And the groups were funding to overthrow them, to cause and then win a bloody civil war, is what the famine relief program was buying the fucking guns for. To cause and escalate a fucking civil war.
Hey, Max, so, make sure you give some donations out there to, all these places. We're going to help, the people of this country. Live Aid. Let's make sure we help these people. US Aid, Live Aid, all these NGOs, dude. I just, we couldn't even put a ballpark. Like, I don't even think that I could put even a general ballpark on how much fraud is out there. Like, it's like everything.
It's over over $1 trillion. I can tell you that.
Oh, dude, it's in the trillions too. I was looking for it earlier, but kind of got to wrap up a little bit here. But President Trump did write and had a little video, and with how much he's been posting lately, I could be scrolling for another half an hour here. But he posted out that essentially they're going to be writing an executive order to be talking about the elections, and he says, "Yeah, I don't think they'll maybe fight it back in court, but I think we'll be all right." Let's see. Presidential pardon for Congressman Stephen Buyer, Indiana. I don't know what he did. They're asking for a pardon here. Stephen E. Buyer. What did he do? Seen somebody in the chat was from Ohio. Just leave a regular comment, and I'll read that if you know what is this about.
It might have been a Cuban. I'm not sure. I did a quick look up. I can't remember. Honest.
Stephen Buyer, huh? Let's see.
But he pardoned him, right?
Yeah. Buyer. See what we got. Pardon Stephen Buyer. President Trump is considering pardoning former Indiana Republican Stephen Buyer, Republican congressman, who was sentenced to 22 months in prison for insider trading. Trump shared a letter from current lawmakers appealing for clemency, even though Buyer's conviction was recently upheld and the Supreme Court declined to hear his appeal. So, yeah, this is this guy here. Ding, ding. Come on. Looks like he's going to be in jail for a little bit longer, buddy. Sorry's to hear it. But I can't wait to see what's going to be coming out.
I thought he just pardoned somebody.
He might have, but not this guy just yet.
It wasn't that guy? Enjoy your freedom. It was Justo Bentecourt. That was it. Sorry.
Justo
he was
Bentecourt.
an alligator Alcatraz is what Trump posted.
First, I'm gonna be like the second 100th because I literally just clicked it on and it said now. It didn't say like seconds.
Let's see. Rush.
I probably won't. Oh shit! Watch, I'll refresh. It'll be like 40 people. Oh my god!
You got it.
Now can I edit this? I put some post on.
No, you can't. I don't think you can edit it. It changes the timestamp.
It just dropped my phone. It wants me to buy Truth Plus to be able to edit, dude. Look, look, edit Truth. Oh yeah, you can buy this. Yeah, maybe later. How about edit it? No, okay. Damn it. I mean, that's the only thing I could even put in to get it in there. Oh God. Yeah, because she's with her. Yep. Oh God. Yeah, show me the pictures where they're doing stuff because they don't exist. Celebrities, but dude, great show, brother, and I can't wait to see what's going to be happening next. Apparently, they're in a little bit of a waiting period here, and I feel like he can wait. He holds the cards, and I think that was another post he put out the other day. Is like, we hold the cards right now, or I know
100%.
He at least posted it or said it the other day for sure. So
they're strangleholding them economically, and the country, the leaders won't be able to sustain it.
Yeah, they're trying.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to. So they also have to do some inner workings to rebuild their country. So I'm sure they're trying to help along with that in the negotiations. It's part of it, but they've been pretty brash in dealing with President Trump. So
100%.
It's hard to trust them. They don't seem to be too true to their word. But
that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad President Trump's handling it and friends.
And Trump and friends. I'm going over here really quickly to Pilled. Thanking a couple folks. Moonbaby0437 dropped a cookie. Says thank you for what you're doing, and thank you Moonbaby for dropping that, and thank you for watching. And then Bois Blanc 89 with the can over there. Thank you so much, Terry Bois Blanc, releasing 317 gold pills over there. And I do appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. And thank you again to the mods. You guys are awesome, and I do truly appreciate your help, helping myself and many others out there. And let's see. Oh, Mr. Starboy, D Starboy dropped another 5 subscriptions into the channel. I appreciate you, brother. Me and him are gonna link up on some. Ooh, on the links. Mac, you got a computer. You got PGA Tour?
I don't have the game. No.
I'm thinking again. I'm gonna get that one soon, very very soon. Just to have a different thing, so I'm not always killing somebody, and people can watch us play some golf.
I didn't realize I had a membership to Steam, and I've downloaded a couple games. I tried this body cam game. It's pretty realistic. You'd probably like it. I'm not used to a keyboard. There's too many keys to press.
No,
I need like a joystick, so I gotta
that's
hook
what I
up
do.
a joystick.
Yeah, get yourself like an Xbox remote or a PlayStation remote. You can put it
the
to your
Xbox.
computer.
Yeah, apparently it works. So I'll have to try that out.
Yeah,
But
it definitely works. I got the Elite one. It works, and it's much better. I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how people that play games with a computer can use a keyboard. But they've always did it like that, so it's like second nature to them, just like it is with the controller for us.
Yeah, it's weird. I need to make keyboards for larger hands, I think.
There you go.
That's ergonomic. Yeah.
Some gigantism stuff out there.
Hey,
for
we
sure.
should go in on a business together and do that.
Gianthandkeyboards.org. But yeah, for sure. Mac, any parting words for the folks out there before we hit the road ski? And thank you guys all for hanging out. And please do us a favor and click that thumbs up.
Great show
on both.
The pictures, I watched the water, all these water pictures President Trump keeps posting up. It's funny. And the amount of water that they were leaking out, I think per day of the mall, what is that called? The mall fountain?
Reflecting pool?
Yes, the reflecting pool was like ridiculous. It was millions of gallons.
Damn.
It was insane. I don't have the exact stat offhand, unfortunately, but it was a lot. And so he's fixed it up. DC is looking great. You know, I like that person. Part of his personality is the builder aspect, because we really need to redo our country as a whole and renovating it, making it look nice. And with all this corrupt money that's been stolen coming back to us, I think we'll start seeing a rejuvenation to our buildings and neighborhoods and everything, and people.
Let's see.
Scott Bessent did put a nice stranglehold on NGOs and Soros in particular. Now they have to, and nonprofits, they have to fill out an IRS form 990.
Yes.
So they can't hide their cash. So this is big steps and to cleaning up that aspect, and I'm really happy we're finally doing it. I don't know how long I've been talking about NGOs, and there's more to the NGO thing that I matched up on QPost, but I'm just gonna wait to see if it comes out. But I can't go into it right now. Maybe next time.
Yeah, we'll hold that for next show.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's about it. I mean, there are some stuff here, but
oh god, we'll never get it all.
Putin did make some interesting comments. He called out the Western media, and also called out the Ukraine, because the fake media said that a drone was Russian when it was actually Ukrainian. So
big surprise.
Yeah, so when Putin says that stuff, you know, to set the record straight, we got to realize yet again that the global media is just still corrupt as usual. But hopefully we're helping get through the crap.
What was that post? What if President Trump is working with the deep state? You remember that post off the top of your head? The number?
Oh, what if what if POTUS is working with China? What if China, Russia, and other countries are working with POTUS? I think it is. So it is. I've got a whole like video on it. It's
Gotcha.
we played it last
140.
week, but yeah.
I mean, and I think this is true, dude. I mean, we're seeing the writing on the wall left and right. What if China, Russia, and others are coordinating with POTUS to eliminate the NWO? Right? And I think that is a legit thing, and we've been seeing it. And I mean, dude, it's so funny, dude. It's like, oh, Iran, we bombed our neighbors, and then remember, they got censored through the United Nations, and then even China signed on to that censure, and then Russia said, no, we're not going to help, Iran because we have, 200,000 Israelis or 200,000 people Russians in Israel. So no. But yeah, it's I think it's all coming together, and they couldn't be obvious about it because then, people would throw a wrench into it. So I think it's coming. It's just, on their timeline, and I think they had set this up to be exactly as we're seeing it here, dude, for a very long time.
Yeah. And I remember when Promethean Action, it was like in this early December, they kind of floated this, China is working with Trump and so is Russia. I'm like, you ladies have never heard of a Q post? like they're saying everything of Q post, but not saying it. And it's really funny.
Yeah, that's why I like it, and I love getting, especially seeing the point where like they are seeing what we're seeing, right? And then we have people like, Victor Davis Hansen, he's seeing what we're seeing, and then the other guy, 2CTV, seeing what we're seeing. And these are all people that are taking their data sets from completely different, areas. But we're all seeing it. But all these black-pilled idiots out there are like, oh, BB and Lutnick and Susie Wiles. And yeah, but what about Susie Wiles and Susie Wiles? I'm like, dude, just get over it. It's the low-hanging fruit. It's the easiest. It's not. It's just easy to say that. Do the real research and look into it a little bit deeper is what I would tell people.
They're literally pointing out all the corruption that's going on and help lead the charge. And they're just constantly complaining. Like the Pam Bondi thing, like she had played a role. She had a role. Like not everyone was going to be happy with her because she wasn't supposed to be there to prosecute people. And, that's, you got to have, I've learned through all this is patience, a ton of it, and trying to gather more information because we really don't have 100% full grasp on everything that's going on and why Trump's doing what he's doing. But we have been led to the water to drink it, and if you have, then you understand the plan. Trust the plan. There's, the White House is posting, the Department of War is posting it, Trump's posting, trust the plan. That's a Q saying. So there is some validity to it.
Israel, but yeah. Great show, brother. Again, thank you to the mods out there. We do appreciate your help greatly, and we'll see what this rascal's got lined up for tomorrow. What's up, brother?
Yeah, thanks to everybody that tunes in. That's all.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
guys,
I'm
keeping it short.
Keeping it sweet, keeping it real. But yeah, thank you guys out there. To the mods again, Matt, great show as usual. I will be back with Ghost and Friends tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll put their feet to the fire on this CIA paymaster to see what they got to say. But at the end of it all, we do appreciate each and every last one of you wonderful world patriots for tuning in out there. And until that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. You're going to have to wait for the second intro after I shut down YouTube. I'll put the link in for Rumble and Pilled. Come over on either of those two platforms to see the full show. Unedited, which we have to do on YouTube. So again, till that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace.
Hello, guys. Something special is happening in here. That's right. It's brackets and jackets. Bringing it back for brackets and jackets. Special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks. Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see, this man Jeffrey Epstein is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh, boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right, Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jacket's Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon was going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Bryan Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. And red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens of